Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of LTI, I welcome you all for this webinar titled MBA Program, Is It Losing Its Sheen? So beyond welcoming you, I would like to appreciate your commitment and your interest towards such programs. So before we move on to the session, I would like you to watch a prom clip on LTI. So thank you for watching the prom clip of LTI. So before we move on, a few things I would like you people to note. First thing, okay, the chat is meant for us to share our ideas in course of the session. It's fine, but I request you not to share all your personal details like your phone numbers or email IDs for certificates and other things. So those things will look a little unprofessional. Thank you. Now I request Professor Arpita Shastri from Bangalore chapter LTI to take over. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, one and all present here. I, Arpita Shastri, welcome all the speakers, top brass of LTI Chennai, and participants for today's LTI webinar on the topic MBA program, Is It Losing Its Sheen? The beautiful thing about learning is no one can take it away from us. For decades, Earning a MBA degree to brighten up career prospect has been a coveted dream of students and professionals alike. Employment quotient of MBA graduates is always high and they climb the ladder of success quickly and smoothly as compared to their counterparts. But in the last few years, there has been an exorbitant decline in the number as well as interest of MBA aspirants. Now, having an MBA degree doesn't mean that you will receive a top notch job. Statistical analysis of campus placement in the last 5 years in different management colleges across the country doesn't give encouraging results. But amidst dwindling hopes, the Corporate Recruiter Survey Report 2020 tells MBA graduates tend to have greater ability to analyze problems and define strategies. The report also suggests skills acquired by management talent during their B school experience makes them valuable assets to the company. The percentage of company planning to hire MBAs in 2021 has increased from 89% to 92%. So, if you think earning MBA degree is worth or not, we are here to dwell upon today's topic, which is MBA program, is it losing its sheen? Amongst us, we have three speakers, two student speakers and one teacher speaker. Let me introduce today's first student speaker. She is Miss Tintu Maria. Miss Maria is MBA first year student of Sambram Academy of Management Studies. She has 1.5 years of corporate experience and has worked as a process associate in Concentrix IBM Daksh and also has worked as a HR recruiter. The second student speaker is Mr. Santosh Chaube. He has completed his MBA in the year 2019 from Sambram Academy of Management Studies. He has 1.5 years or roughly 2 years of experience. He has worked as a process associate in Gallagher, and at present he is working as a management trainee in Apex Fund Services. So during his studies, he has participated in number of management events and has displayed various management skills. Today, we have amongst us the third speaker, teacher speaker, Dr. K.C. Mishra. Presently, he is the principal of Sambram Academy of Management Studies. He has over 41 years of academic experience and industry connect. He has published a lot of articles in international journals and is a reviewer of various journals of repute. I welcome all these speakers and I invite first student speaker, Ms. Tintu Maria, to take over. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, ma'am. So, good evening, everyone. Today, our topic is about whether MBA program, is it losing its sheen? So, as an individual, as an MBA student, I would like to tell that MBA as a degree, it's not losing its sheen. So, that is why I choose MBA. I have selected MBA based on my interest and knowing the value of it. So, when I was studying in BBA final year, through my college placement, I got selected for Concentrix IBM Daksh and I was working there for 1 year. So when I am already into a good company, when I have a good job and good salary, then why should I leave all this or why should I quit and do for MBA? So there should be a valid reason behind it. So why I entered into MBA program is it's based on my interest in learning and also to develop advanced and flexible managerial skills and to get self-qualified to apply for higher level positions. And also, I know what are my clear expectation out of MBA that within this 2 years of MBA course, that what I should gain that benefits my professional as well as my personal life. So this made me to get entered into MBA program. So also, what is MBA? So MBA means it's not a course, it's a program. Why? Because an student has to do a lot for time bound. And MBA, it develops the skills required for careers in management and business. So when I talk about this, I also like to talk about Mr. Tillman Joseph Fertitta, an American billionaire entrepreneur. So according to his words, once he said that if God did not give you the gift of understanding business, but still you want to be an entrepreneur or businessman, you should go for MBA. He clearly says that either you should have a gift or you should have a MBA for knowing about business. So what is that we are learning about out of MBA? So we are learning about HR, about finance, about marketing, about communication skills, entrepreneurship, business laws, business planning. So there are many things that we are learning out of MBA. So what are the skills this MBA program provides us? So we are learning about strategic thinking, communication skill, and also decision making, time management, and leadership. These are the skills that MBA program providing us. So when I talk about this, like every year, if we are able to see that many number of MBA students are graduating out, like every year, it's the increase of number is rising dramatically. So if I'm talking about Karnataka, there are 429 colleges in Karnataka, MBA colleges, and 6,500 MBA colleges in overall in India, out of which 3.5 lakhs of MBA students are passing out every year. If MBA is losing its sheen, then how come these numbers are good? So now we can see that even scientists, even engineers are also taking up this course to gain business knowledge. So a student should learn for himself. So a student, an MBA student should think that he is faculty for himself, that he has to put a lot of effort to learn the practicality. So if I'm saying if we have a good management, a good faculties, but a student is not learning, who will be responsible for that? A student or faculties or management? A student himself is responsible for that because he is not interested in learning. So when I talk about this, I also remember about Sri Aurobindo. As we all know, he is the founder of Sri Aurobindo Ashram, and he was an Indian nationalist, a guru, a yogi, a spiritual reformer. So according to his vision on education, he clearly says that the first principle of true teaching is that nothing can be taught. Yes, nothing can be taught with explanation because the knowledge is already dormant within the child. He also says that the teacher is not an instructor or a taskmaster, where he or she is a guide and a helper. They can suggest us, but they cannot impose, they cannot force us. So here a student should study for himself. And when MBA becomes not worth, when one's expectations are unclear, they don't have the clear expectation before they enter into MBA program. They don't know what they want to gain out of it. So as I informed, my expectation was interest in learning. I want to gain certain things in my professional life also, which helps in my professional life, also in my personal life. This was my clear expectation before I enter into MBA program. When this is not happening, the MBA becomes not worth for the student. And also considering MBA as a escape route. This happens always. If mother or father wants a child to do engineering or any other stream, but he feels that is difficult and let me go for which is easy. Let me try for MBA. He's not taking MBA based on his interest. He's just want to escape from the dangerous situation and he wants to take the MBA. So even this leads to like not worth in MBA. And also being too ambitious, that a strong desire for achieving too much, like being too ambitious is also not worth. So when a student is not studying for himself and also when he is concentrated only on the book, like he wants to by heart everything and he wants to write the exam and score good marks, so he's not learning anything with concept or anything with clarity. So this everything leads to like MBA becomes not worth for those students. And when I also inform that I have an experience, so according to professional benefits, what are the professional benefits that we can gain out of MBA? So we can see that in MBA, the number of job security and high salary are some of the most important. And also when we earn MBA, the number of positions that are available for us raises dramatically, and we'll be self-qualified to apply for higher level positions and increase in career opportunities. And also our professional skills increases, like it increases our theoretical and practical knowledge about how business operates. So MBA offers us professional as well as personal benefits, whether we are working into finance or we are working into HR or technology. An MBA program opens up a opportunity for greater responsibility and career advancement, and also increase in financial rewards. So these are the professional benefits that we are gaining out of MBA. So also my expectation for this 2 years, it will be that I want to learn things with practicality, with which benefits me in my professional as well as in my personal life. So concluding all that, I want to bring into my conclusion saying that how much ever we study or how much ever we are qualified, it's an asset in our life. Education value will never come down because we all are still learners. We are still learning and learning never stops. And also, I want to say that MBA, and also I want to say that MBA is not losing its sheen. The brightness of MBA is still remaining the same and it still remains the same. So this is what I proudly say. I want to proudly say that before I enter into MBA, it was my best ambition. But once I entered into MBA, it is my best achievement. And also by saying this, I like to thank my principal as well as the LTI team for giving this opportunity today. And I like to hand over the section to my super senior, Mr. Santosh Chobe. Thank you.
Yeah, hi everyone. So thank you, Tintu, for giving me this opportunity. So before going to the topic, whether MBA is losing, it seems I wanted to say what is MBA all about? Since I completed my MBA in 2019, so before that, why I choose MBA and what I gain from the MBA out of 2 year of MBA and what I'm doing currently post MBA and all. So we're gonna divide in this way. So I wanted to talk what is MBA like. So when we call MBA is program, why not degree? Because degree is something like if you are going for the +2 SLC or engineering degree or BBA degree, we can call it like those as kind of things as a degree. But once we are talking about the MBA, we can see that engineering, after doing engineering or after doing even the scientist or doctor, even they are taking participate into this one, because MBA is a program, 2 years of program. So what they will develop the managerial skill, they will develop the entrepreneurial skill and leadership and so on, so on. So what does it means? Like if we'll see the 2 year of program, first year is more about the theoretical part, where will come to know all the accounting parts or taxes part or all subjective things. But once you are in the second year, you'll have opportunity to show yourself like mini project, minor project. There are a couple of projects that you'll get an opportunity to explore yourself with the corporate world things. So basically what is happening there, first things, once you are getting into that internship kind of things, once you are approaching the corporate world, then you will really get an opportunity to develop yourself with the corporate world things, because we know that today competitive market, how it is going on all over the world, that it's growing every day. Like the competition is going every day, so we have to skill ourselves and we have to grow, enhance our knowledge, managerial skill, everything. So even all this sector, other non commerce sector people also are joining this MBA program because of that. So when I was like in a bachelor degree, post completion of my bachelor's, so even I was in the great confusion dilemma that whether I have to go for MBA or should I go for the competitive exam or should I go for the job and all. So once I observe in the market, like if you can see that the number of job available in the market it's good, but you need to crack it. And for that you need to have a good knowledge for that, right? But if you observe yourself after doing BBA or BCom or whatever the courses you have done, you'll not have that kind of confidence that needed to really grow in a corporate world. You can enter into the corporate, but you'll not have much opportunity to becoming tomorrow as a manager or like in a good position as well. So those things really inspire me to join MBA. And moreover, like we can take an example of I would like to take an example of a 2 persons here. the biggest tycoon of India, like Mukesh Ambani. So as we know that he is a very like his father was already a settled person, Dhirubhai Ambani, and his son, why he need to education, he need to educate himself after doing engineering as well. He did engineering in chemical engineering. Post that he went to the foreign Stanford University. He did his MBA degree. So he could have simply taken his whole business and he would have continued the business from his end. But he wanted to know that how the manager should be, and how the leadership quality need to be developed itself. So like considering this all things, I believe that he also also wanted to gain those things, and he went to the foreign and he did his MBA degree. So he is a good example of that one. And secondly, I wanted to also take an example of Sundar Pichai, the present Google CEO. Sundar Pichai, he is an IITian, so Tamil Nadu. He is from Tamil Nadu, and he went to the foreign again, and he did his MBA from University of Pennsylvania. So what does it mean? He could have simply continue his job, because anyhow, like after doing IIT and all, you'll have a good number of salary, and you can continue your things on. But he wanted to do something that really worthy for him, and he continued his leadership quality. He wanted to gain leadership quality and managerial skills. So he went to the foreign. Now you can see he is working as a CEO of a Google, one of the giant company in the world. So these are the two best examples I wanted to take in compared to MBA degree. Like, so those are the kind of inspirations when I was like into the post that my bachelor was completed. Those people really inspire me. And secondly, when I was in an MBA, the best things I wanted to suggest what whoever is doing MBA now, that if you are into the MBA program, we call it as a program, and in a program you have to involve yourself. So what does it mean? It means like if you are in the 2 years of your MBA, you need to be active. The most important thing is activeness. So whatever the theoretical knowledge you are getting, you need to put it into the practical. That's how like you can balance it, your personal life, professional life, or whatever like is coming up in your life itself. Okay, so those things, if you are into MBA, then you need to focus how to involve yourself more into the MBA program, rather than just simply going for the sake of exam and getting a pass marks. And that's really not gonna help you anymore in the future. I believe that one. So those 2 years was like a crucial year for me, and I put it myself in the best way like I can give it, and like post that I was in a good shape, that I am a more confidence compared to other time, and I was in a more good shape to enter into the corporate world, because my choice was in entering into the corporate world. It's depending upon your choice, like whether you wanted to go for the business. Even the business people also there, as I told you, the Mukesh Ambani, even those people also wanted to do MBA, and they wanted to continue their business. For that also you need to have an MBA, because it will really help you to develop the managerial skill and leadership skill and many more. So those things, during my MBA program, I was into like moreover the events and all, and whatever the possible things I can get it more knowledge, that where the people are there and you need to manage it, you need to lead them from the front, and that's really develop a kind of confidence me. And that's how like post like completion of my MBA programs, I choose to join in the corporate world, and now I'm into the good shape where I'm like working as a management trainee in one of the finance company, because finance was my cup of tea, and I choose it. If marketing or HR or other things like international business or whatever, even we can see that nowadays politician or the big people are hiring the MBA peoples to manage their relation with the other country, on how like manage a relation with the other company and all. So like even like if you can take a good example of like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, or any like Deutsche Bank, other many are there, like Amazon, Flipkart, or Walmart, So those are people. So you can see that good number of employee are there, like they are hiring as MBA people only in their corporate world. But you need to have a good skill of doing management, and you need to have a good knowledge while doing your MBA. You need to observe it. So like if you'll see the Fortune 500 company, where like 30 of them are like CEO of 30 best Fortune 500 company of the world having an MBA degree. So we can see how the MBA is growing, and it's never gonna lose its aim. But I wanted to also suggest these things, that MBA can be shifted from the offline to online classes. Maybe it can happen. I can see the application like Upgrade and all nowadays in the market. So they are really performing well. So we'll kind of having competition in the degree where the offline can be switched to the online courses, where the student can do their online classes as well. Post corona, we can see that how the things turn around, and everyone, like even I'm working from home, and everyone like is coming that okay, technology can also help them to develop them. So this degree, whatever the degree, like if even the MBA and other degree also, they can be shifted in upcoming future to the online, but it can't be losing its in. That's what I wanted to suggest. And I also like to say one fact, that in recent year, the Google has observed that the most number of a degree, like not degree, any kind of education term is searched in the Google is MBA only. So we can't say that the MBA is losing its in, because if it is losing its in, then how come it coming in a trend? So that's how, like, I wanted to say that you have chosen a right courses, and that is MBA. All the best to all of you. And after saying this, like I wanted to say, like, thanks to our Thai team that organizing these wonderful sessions. And I would also like to hand over this session to Dr. K.C. Mishra, sir. Sir, please. Thank you.
Good evening to all of you present here. From the deep recesses of my heart, I congratulate the student speakers who did exceedingly well. And I also congratulate the moderators. Second is yet to come on the scene to play their role. I say the best to the top brass of LTI, who has created a platform like this for all of us across the globe. I am not skeptical about the course, the program MBA. I am very much clear and confident about that. I have heard the two student speakers telling very clearly, Tintu is so much hopeful about this MBA degree. He disagrees with the topic that it can never be said that it is not bright, the MBA program itself. She is such a tremendous, great aspirant who has come to study MBA to learn a lot of things. I am sure her dreams could be met by the B school where she is studying now. She is very clear to say that she has to learn for herself. Not that the MBA degree is going to give her only best things. She has to put her effort to see that the MBA becomes her my best achievement. And she is very clear about her expectations. She also says educational values never comes down, never comes to an end. Still MBA is bright. Even I could hear Santosh Chobe also speaking. He is positive about MBA program which he did 2 years back from Sambram Academy. He is so confident to say that the future aspirant of MBA should involve himself in the 2-year MBA program. And there should be tremendous amount of confidence in the student who aspires to study MBA. And Santosh is well placed now. He never recalls the days that he could not learn many things out of his MBA program. He is very right in saying that there could be a choice for the B schools to go for online post-COVID-19 and all that. This morning I was looking at a topic across same, more or less like same, that MBA program, why the program is losing its sheen. I have something to say to the future aspirants, even who have passed out also. The first hope an MBA aspirant seems to be wrong when it is said that a student, an MBA aspirant, to pass out, he or she thinks he expects a job in a top-notch company, and also he thinks of a flat salary. This is fundamentally wrong. With this kind of things, one should not aspire to study MBA. What about down the line? The startups, many companies in rural sector, there are many companies who get more than 50% of their sale from rural companies only. So if we think of a top-notch company, American company or MNC like that, and salary of 10 lakhs per month, it is not correct. I feel there are some basic requirements to be met. The first one is a student who aspires to study MBA should understand theoretical concept with clarity. This 2-year MBA program is something very special. An aspirant who comes to the class of MBA should come with a mindset to understand the theoretical concept of MBA, how to manage. I recall here when I was in Jaipur, our institute hired a person having 30 years of job experience in industry coming to class. The first day, let me tell you very clearly, the student rejected him because his theoretical knowledge was wrong. He might be having huge practical experience, but fundamentally he was wrong. So students to understand theoretical concept with clarity. They should do extremely hard work to know the nitty-gritty of management, to know what exists under the sun. I am telling, the world is so bright. They should know many things. They should be versatile in everything. They may not be master of a specific subject. That's why I like general MBA is far better, because they have to manage the whole gamut of societal affairs. They should know the nitty-gritty of management. They should start from the scratch to practice what is management. So they should look from their personal life. If they are clear of managing themselves, they should come out of their cocoon to manage the external man beyond them. Then only the management or the managing or the art of managing could be successful. The faculty, coming to the point of faculty, many persons do complain, many industries do complain, the faculty are not well equipped. But I should say the faculty having a fair blend of theory and practice to teach. Not necessarily it is right to say that only industry persons are experts, but a person knowing the theory clearly, at the same time having practical experience, so they should come forward to teach MBA graduates. All 20 IIMs of India, at least they should mentor 50 other B schools each at no cost to raise the letters bar. Why? Because they are sitting in ivory tower and talking many things. It is all public exchequer money, or else more than 20 lakh an aspirant of an MBA aspirant in a IIM, so to say, has to pay so much. The time has come for them to come out of their campus and mentor B schools like us. At least let them take 50 each with no cost to mentor us. The companies to make their expert professional freely available under CSR scheme. It is very clear they have their CSR scheme, because I have heard in many forums, in many seminars, they talk that MBA graduates are not employable, they do not have skill at all. But I do question very clearly why you are not coming out of your campus when we require you. So they should freely make themselves available with the best of the best brain from the company to deliver expert talks in different subjects across various B schools. Let them have a choice. But our company will take care of 30 B schools across India or across Karnataka. So, but they should not charge. Not to insist on pre-MBA work experience. Whenever there is whenever top B schools of India, they say we want students having, job experience. I believe they should not insist on pre-MBA work experience. Rather, the companies to mentor B schools and facilitate more internship opportunities. Let fresh graduates also study MBA, doesn't matter. But when they give mentorship to various B schools, they should be very clear. They should give an opportunity to the students to go for continuous internships, which may lead to lateral placement. then the students from the campus definitely develop practical experience. Then there will be no problem when they come for campus placement. The companies should hire more of freshers, train them and absorb them. If all the companies will say, we want experienced MBAs, then what about the fresh MBAs? Where do they go? So rather than demanding graduates having experience, they should hire more freshers, come down the line to tier B school, to tier 3 schools, train them and absorb them as well, so that there is the demand will increase and other B schools definitely will get motivated to take care of their MBAs. There is a so-called hype towards MBAs by top B schools of India. It should stop. I am very clear in telling this. They should work for holistic development of their graduates. Let me tell you, last year the press could say that with all bombastic words that IIM Bangalore started teaching Bhagavad Gita. We are doing it everyday life. In our B school, I am telling, I always bring quotes from the Gita and tell the students, if IIM Bangalore is doing, why there is a hype? So they should work for holistic development of their graduates. But there is a hype by them, top B schools of India, even IIMs also. They do like that. Still, there is a craze that an aspirant should crack CAT and go for only IIMs. I ask the students, then what about other B schools down the line? So this hype should stop. I am very clear about this. The companies should volunteer to contribute towards content development of MBA programs. Many corporate honchos, experts, so to say, the top brass, starting from Narayana Murthy also, they are clear in telling that employability skill of engineers, of management graduates is lacking. But when we frame the syllabus, we are not able to get their expert services. So they should rather contact the universities, top B schools, other B schools down the line to come forward and contribute their best towards developing the content for MBA programs. If they say your students are lacking practical skill, they have to do that. But I am a part of various board of studies. I do not see they coming forward, which is not clear, which is not correct. The mindset that B schools are placement agencies, it is again a very, unfair thing, unpractical thing. It is not correct. That means a student aspiring to study MBA or their parents or anybody, the mindset is that if I enter into IIM, if I enter into a top B school, I must be assured of placement. What does it mean? Rather, I should say they are management institutes. This attitude should change. Rather, I should say a student should work hard to place himself or herself. Then only I think it will work out. That is why this mindset saying that B schools are placement agencies, this is not correct. It should stop. There should be a change of mindset. Let the students make them employable, developing their skill sets. Yes, exactly. We have a placement cell. We are creating opportunity. We are trying to establish a platform. Even also we are extending placement training programs to the student, but of course at a cost. Let them undergo the training process. Let them develop their skill. Let them create skill set with them. And let the companies also see that, yes, the fresh graduates have come forward with various kinds of skill. But saying that it is not enough, not correct. They should hire them. They should give more training like Infosys is doing. Then only it has its meaning. So this kind of mindset also has to change. Government management institutes should not offer MBA programs almost freely. There are many states in India, they think of subsidizing MBA programs, which is not correct. Private B schools who are self-financed B schools, they do charge because they have to pay the faculty, they have to create the best of the best environment, infrastructure, then only MBA program could be possible. So but when I see these public funded institutions, they charge very less. Thereby, I believe they are bringing down the quality of MBA. It's not correct. So these are the basic requirements I felt this morning that we have to take care of this. The MBA degree, to the extent it is bright, definitely it will continue to remain. So the necessity is there is a need of a paradigm shift in the thought process toward the MBA program itself by all kinds of stakeholders. Then only the MBA program for which it was started in, you can say, 50s, definitely it will have its own value. So I do not agree, rather I disagree that MBA program is losing its brightness. It's not correct. So we have to, for a change mindset, very clearly, including the student aspirants who are coming to study MBA, the management of various BA schools, the faculty members, the stakeholders, the parents even. Because I see when the parents drop their children in the B schools, they forget them. But I believe, I happen to be a parent, I will continuously monitor my child, my son, my daughter, what he is doing in the B school. I remember a training program in 2004. The top brass came to conduct that FDP. They told clearly, make the life of MBA students hell. In the midnight, if they are not writing assignment, in the midnight, if they are not preparing for tomorrow presentation, they are not studying MBA. But unfortunately, what we see is down the line, students read before exams and get first class. What does it mean? MBA degree is not at all a basic thing. The quality they take from the campus and the practice, it is very much important. I believe these are the basic points I would like to throw open for a debate, for discussion, for question and answer. Rather than speaking much on the topic once I read, I invite all the participants. I see a good number of participants are there. Let them come forward with questions for a cross debate amongst three speakers. Then only I think the something concrete will come out. So I conclude saying that MBA has still its own value. It will continue to remain. I disagree with the sense that MBA is losing its brightness in the days to come. Not like that. Now, I thank LTI for giving me an opportunity like that, and the students also to dwell on this topic. Now I call Professor Suhani Sharma to initiate the question answer session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your wonderful thought-provoking speech. Now, participants, floor is open for question answer session. You can drop your question in the chat box. So we'll take one by one. Yes. So there is a question from Professor Ramani.
Yes.
What is actually meant by strategic thinking and planning? Could you please explain the concept with a concrete specific example from the field of education or language? Education in particularly. So he is throwing this question, sir. I would like you should answer this question, sir.
Yes, I would like, I shall be happy to answer this question. The war strategy was confined to battlefield in 1950s. It was never a topic in business field. Late 60s, early 70s, like that, the war strategy came into business. When there are two parties fighting against each other, one has to win. So they evolve their own strategies to win the battle. I mean, just you can say globalization and post also, strategy played a key role in the business world. I mean, all marketers have to be strategists to win the other, to sell their product in the market and get the profit. So now there is a post called a strategic officer in the companies. There will be a CSO, Chief Strategy Officer. So once upon a time, like fighting a battle with the opponent, today the marketers have to be strategic, to be strategist and win their business, capture the market size. So the planning has to be called, now planning is called as strategic planning. It's not simply planning. I believe Professor Ramani could get little clarity about that. I would like to know more on this question. Then I believe I can say something more. But the world strategy has come to business like this in the last 30-40 years.
I hope, Professor Ramani, you got your answer. Yes. The next question is, sir, by Dr. Gajanan Malviya, sir.
Yes,
He's
please.
asking, sir, is there any survey or study that clears which specialization is popular among the management students during the pandemic times? If we look, so this is the first part of the question, sir. The He also asked, if we go purely online, which stream or specialization would be most challenging for the teachers? So he has two parts.
I would like to, pose the question to our student speaker number 2, Santosh, because he has already crossed his MBA journey. Now he is in corporate, because he is a finance specialization background student. I think let him throw light on this. If there is a need, I will again answer. Santosh, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir, for this opportunity. I love to answer this one. So once we are talking about like the everything going online, right? So once the courses are going online, the faculty is where they will stand. So once we are seeing the market strategy, even the number of teachers who are shifting from offline to offline is also increasing in the same way. But once you are comparing like to the if we are talking about only the institutions where the 120 people are staying in the room and getting educated by the faculties, it is kind of like one person can teach 120 student. But once it is coming to the online, one teacher can teach multiple students at a time, right? But the number of like competitions, even Edureka or other institution, Baizu or Upgrade, they are also getting increased every day. So even they are coming into the market, and how it is happening because of the MBA skill only. So once I'm taking a good example of my batchmate only, RM Priya, he is into the education business now, and he is also like he did his MBA in a marketing. So these people, what they will do, they will create a platform in a social media where they will attract to the people with their courses, and the other people will come and join them. So he is handling one business, and like that the other competition are also coming into market. So we can say that if everything is coming, we have to be ready for the upcoming year, right? We can't go everything what the traditionally it is going on. So we have to upgrade ourselves. If it is coming, everything is online, we have to welcome them. And then what is happening, even the teacher will be like joining the offline to the online. Even they will be also upgrading themselves, and they will join the program. And how in this way, how it will going to be a future, I believe that in that way. If I'm wrong, sir, please highlight
Santosh,
me.
can you throw light on the first part of the question about specialization?
Yeah, so on my specialization part, like if we are talking about like if I'm into the finance background, the corporate like JP Morgan or like we can say like Goldman Sachs, they are into purely investment banking. So what is happening there? They are hiring to the only finance background people. They don't want other than that. So if I'm choosing one specialization, I can be joining that specialization, and I can be master in that way. So the specialization, how it will come play a role. If you are into the marketing, and the finance people will not go to the marketing, reason being they are not having interest in that, and they will not be the right person to be there. So like that, I wanted to like separate the specialization. So please highlight if I'm something.
Okay, I would like to come on the screen about this.
Yes, sir.
Yes, in the second year, the students choose their specialization. First year, they read common subjects. It is impossible to say that in 1 year they become experts in finance or marketing or HR or production. It cannot be said like that. But even then, they try to know many things about the specialization. Over a period of time, suppose 10 years, 15 years hence, it is expected of any MBA graduate, whatever specialization he or she has read, but they should know all subjects. Suppose a student of HR can never say after 20 years of his job experience, I do not know ABC of finance, I don't know how to read a balance sheet. It is expected of them. So over a period of time, through their experience, they come to know everything. I remember Narayan Murthy telling, because he said, my junior took class in finance, I sat in his class. Because of the class, if I remember 30, 40 years back, now I am able to know something about finance, though he's an engineer. The point is, when you talk of specialization, it depends on various factors. What is the background of the student? What aspiration he or she has got for his future career after passing out MBA? These you can say parameters play a role, or these kind of decision making play a role to choose the finance. Coming to the crux of the question, which is important. I should say all specializations, starting from HR, marketing, finance, production, all have their own merit. Unless the HR is managed properly in any organization, which is the lifeblood, then that organization cannot exist, cannot survive in the competitive market. We simply cannot say finance is the lifeblood of any organization. HR need to be managed very properly, capturing the market size. Today, there are so many marketeers playing role in the market. A new product is coming up. That company has to find place. They should be strategically marketing their product. So there are various factors played when a student chooses his or her specialization. I cannot say exactly this is better, that is best, or this is important, that is not important.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have another question by Professor Mohan Raj.
Yes, please.
His question goes like this, sir. A manager needs to negotiate several business deals and also communicate his strategies with his superiors and juniors. In many ways, he is a licensed person. What special linguistic skills and life skills are incorporated in the curriculum? What role has language instruction in this course?
See, communication plays a very clear-cut role. Any kind of negotiation, any kind of settling disputes, any kind of resolving the conflicts, it needs to be communicated thoroughly. Unless communication is not very much clear, I think the negotiation skill cannot be complete. I remember a professor of Boston University who was teaching these kind of subjects to his students. Suddenly he told to one of his friends, I have to go to court to resolve conflict with my wife. It was a surprise. A person who has failed to conflict his own family, who has failed to resolve his own family conflict, how can he talk of that conflict resolution to the students of MBA who have to manage the future, managerial affairs? So the question is, it has to be communicated in a clear-cut language. Can I get little more clarity, about this question from the...
Sir, the another part of question is what special linguistic skills and life skills are incorporated in the curriculum?
No, there is no such special linguistic skills required. The question is when a company is acquiring another company or when two companies merge together, so all nitty-gritty of two businesses should be taken into account. Then only they can come to a negotiating table and do the negotiation. That is why the language should be very clear. They should understand each other. And let me tell you that this, either murder or accusation or taking over doesn't take place so immediately. It takes enough time. In case of data acquiring chorus, once upon a time, it took long time because they should study details about the company which they are going to take over. So it doesn't happen overnight or something in a month or so. So there is no specific parameter, a specific formula to suggest here.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is a question for Ms. Maria from Mr. Praveen, sir. He wants to ask, how are the students of MBA trained in English language competencies by the institution? So this question is specifically for Ms. Maria.
Yeah, I also thought of, passing the question to her only. Yes, Chintu?
Thank you. Okay. Maria, you can respond.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity. A good question asked for me. Regarding communication, so what are the, I like to talk about my institution. So regarding communication, what they are doing for us, the main part is presentation. So a teacher is not only just they are teaching and going, they're asking us to do a presentation. Meanwhile, we are able to communicate, we are building, we are gaining more knowledge. This all comes under this communication improvement. And also communication means it's all about speaking, listening, writing, and reading. Whatever we do, there is one input out of it. So communication regarding this, even in like, I want to take example of my principal, sir. Weekly once he will visit to our class to motivate us. So he'll be asking many questions and he'll be that we should answer for him. When we answer for him, when we are answering, that the student who are not able to speak, even they are able to speak to, like they are not, there's too much of concentrated with his question. Like they are listening to that because they want to answer to him. So while answering itself, they are being so clear. So learning with clarity and with concept, itself makes our communication skills improvement.
Yes.
I would like to add something here, 2 basic points. Peter Drucker is a famous management consultant across the globe. He used to say, as a consultant, he used to ask questions rather than giving any solution. So Maria reminded me that the principal will come to class once in a week to pose various questions to the students. The intention is very clear. Students should ponder about those questions and give answer to themselves. Then they learn nitty-gritty of management. That is one. Number 2, Maria also is clear about presentations. Today, we belong to EAs. I recall my days in Dibrugarh University, Assam in 1985, where I taught to master students. In 85, when there was no talk of internet, I initiated the concept of presentation by the students. After completing the basics of a subject, topics remaining will be divided among students, either single or together. They used to be asked to go to library, refer books and journals, prepare an article, give presentation in the class. After presentation is over, question answer session shall continue. When the presenters failed to reply to the question, the teacher used to come to the picture. When there was no talk of PPT, I started this concept. That means I could visualize, as students of MBA, they should know the art of presentations. So Maria is reminding. So I'm happy that my student has understood very clearly about this.
Thank you, sir. Next question is by Dr. Lab Singh. What makes our graduates to run after foreign MBA? What is the problem with Indian MBA?
Let me shift this question to 2 of my student speakers. Let them say.
Santosh and Miss Maria, you can answer. Mr. Santosh and Miss Maria, I know any one of you can answer this question.
So I would like to take this opportunity.
Yes.
So what is the problem with the Indian MBA? There is nothing problem with the Indian MBA. Even the same company, whatever the company, you can take any example. Which company we doesn't have in India? We can take example. Amazon is the best company. Google we have. Facebook we have. We have JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs. Anyone we can take. All are there. And who is working in this corporate world nowadays? Even Indian employee only. Even the managers are from India. Even the employee are from the India, and they have studied from the Indian academy only. Like whatever the India is teaching us. Even I can take my example as well. I'm working in the Apex Fund Service, so it is also like MNC company and good finance company. So what is all my managers are from India only. And only the CEO, we can accept the CEO, because since the CEO are the one who is organizing this all corporate things, we can't take the example of that one. But they are also from, like, whoever is managing this all Indian things, they are from India only, they have studied from India only. So we can't take that Indian education is not that, because the connectivity is not there. Why I should go for the foreign if I can get the same kind of education in India? Why should I go for the simply for the sake of name and all to the USA or UK and get education from there? Even I'm working with my colleague who has come from the UK, Anushka. She is Anushka Gol from Uttarakhand. So she has studied in UK. And she has coming and she is working in a colleague with my position and everything same. So I have studied from Samram. There is no difference between that. So it is nothing like that. We can't say like that a foreign is this one.
Yes.
Correct me, sir, if I'm wrong, sir. Correct.
I also agree with Santosh that there is no need of any foreign degree as such. Not necessarily the Indian B schools across the country can provide right education to an aspirant. Not necessarily. But there is again a high for few students and parents also. They think my son, my daughter to study in Harvard Business School and all that. See, let me tell you very clearly, Harvard Business School prepared a case study on Dabbawalas of Mumbai. Why not they thought of something else to prepare a case study? Eh?
Yes.
Let us imagine about that. So, Indian degrees are enough to train a future aspirant how to be a perfect manager, how to be a decisive manager. Let me tell you again, how to be a genuine manager. Degrees are enough. I think there are enough B schools, right? Good number of B schools in India who can provide the right degree to an aspirant.
Thank you, sir. Sir, there is one question from Akila K. Tier 2 and Tier 3 institutions also produce valuable, knowledgeable students. What is your advice to them?
Can it be a little more specific? what kind of advice are expected? I am not able to be.
Madam
make myself
Akila,
so
can you
clear.
please throw some more light upon this so we can get clarity on the question, please? Sir, I would like to take one question from Professor Arpita Shastri.
Yes.
Her question is to Santosh, Mr. Santosh. What are the expectations from corporates, from MBA freshers? This question is for Mr. Santosh.
Yes, Santosh.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am, for asking this question. So, if we are talking about the corporate, what they demanded from the MBA student, so fresh MBA students. Actually, when I entered into the corporate, I was also the freshers. So, what they were actually looking into, no, they were looking into the 2-year program. What you have obtained, no. You have to be more specific, you have to be more knowledgeable. So whatever the question was there in my interview, it was according to my resume, and resume was prepared by me only, and whatever the things I know during my MBA, what I have studied, I have entered those points in my resume. So actually it come according to that only. So they have nothing that if you are into the finance background, you need to have a good finance knowledge. You need to have a more clarity vision in your life, what you're going to be and where you're going to be in a 5-year or 10-year, like what is the goals and objectives is. So everyone, every company is looking into that things only, how the student is confident enough, how his presentation skill, and how how good he is in communicating with the others. Those things are really matter in a corporate one. So
there are two, three points to be clarified. One is confidence, clarity, right kind of communication, and proactiveness. These are the basic requirements I believe a company would be requiring from a fresh graduate. Can you, Professor Swani, can you go back to the previous question? And I think time is coming to a close.
I think, sir, we can go with the vote of thanks, sir. I think, yes, sir. Thank you all the speakers and participants to make this session so interactive. This is Suhani Tripathi. Gratitude is one of the least articulate of the emotions, especially when it is deep. Once again, a very warm and graceful evening to one and all present. Today's day was really a day of deliberation. It gave deep insights into the topic and also revealed the need of trust for enhancing the quality of MBA program. It is my great privilege to extend my heartiest vote of thanks to all the top brass of IIT Chennai for their valuable presence. Professor K.C. Mishra, Principal, Sambram Academy of Management Studies, for his thought-provoking knowledge sharing with all of us. I also extend my heartiest thanks to student speaker Ms. Neetu Maria and Mr. Santosh Chaube and all our participants from different institutions. I cannot forget to thank LTI technical team, especially Mr. Praveen, and our moderator, Professor Arpita Shastri, for smooth conduct of today's program. Thank you very much to all of you. Have a great evening ahead. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. Over to Mr. Praveen.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
So dear participants, so what you see on the screen is a brochure of the next webinar, that is webinar 46. So it has been scheduled on 28th of March. The topic of the webinar is English Studies in India, History, Politics and Pedagogy. So the resource person is Professor Dr. Shankar Dutt, Head of the Department, retired, Patna University, Patna. So once again, I thank everyone for participating and making the session happen. Thank you.